ethics exists in REGIS and it's correctly approved, there are important workflows that will share approved documents with related sites' RGOs or research governance officers within the system. If an ethics application is approved incorrectly, there is a big impact across all related sites in REGIS. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take you into the application I have set up, and we're going to look at the documents that we want to include with the approval. And I just want to give you a bit of a tip on how we can easily identify these when we get to the document selection stage. So I've got my tiles set up, and as you can see, I can see a lot of studies in here, but my one is my Yoda Grogu. So I'm just going to click on my information provided tile. So what I want to show you here is a really nice visual way in order for you to kind of easily manage those approved documents. So I'm just clicking management from the left-hand menu here. Okay, my study is ready to be approved, so I'm going to the documents under related documents. I'm going to show you how to tag some documents. So I've got quite a bit in here, so there's a lot of documents in here. Now I'm not going to be approving all of these documents, but I want to make my life easy when I get to that next step where I'm formally approving the study. So what I want to show you guys is I want to show you how you can allocate a tag or add a tag to the documents to be approved, and we'll see how that comes into play in the next step. So I'm going to make my page editable because I can't add anything at the moment. And you can see we've got this tag column and we can add tags. So I know that I want to go through these. There's a few documents here that I'm going to be tagging. I'm not going to be tagging my correspondence and cover letter. I'm going to go ahead and start tagging my, looks like an IB, investigator brochure there. So all you simply do, click the add tag. Don't create a brand new tag. I say this in the politest, friendliest way. Please don't add any more tags into the system. As you can see, we have a ton there. So we've got lots of names, everything in there. Let's keep it really simple. I've got an approved tag here. That's what I'm going to use. I just want to indicate to myself that this is the document to be approved. So I'm going to be able to easily pick it up in that next step I'm about to show you. So again, please don't add any further tags. If you can't see the tag you're after right away, you can just start typing approved. As you can see, we've got a ton of approval or approved tags in here. I guarantee you there will be a tag that you're after already in the system or close enough. So let's utilize what the system's got. I see the one I want here. All I do is simply click on it. It adds the tag. I don't have to save anything. It automatically saves. I'm just going to repeat this for the few documents I do want to approve. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and click on a few. I'm going to go quick here. So I've got 3 IBs and I've got some pick forms in here as well. So go ahead and click on those. Looks like I've got some questionnaires that I'm going to approve. This is also really useful if you do have a lot of documents in the system for an application you're reviewing, and perhaps you're not actually approving all of those documents. This again, as you'll see in the next step, is a really nice visual way to kind of get on top of it. And what have we got? We've got a lucky last study protocol. I can see that the researcher has not uploaded it nicely here, so I can see that this is my resubmission. I know just from visually looking at this, guys, this is the current one here. So I'm going to click on that, and I also want to make that approved. The reason I'm doing this, it's just a really good way to easily identify those documents when we prepare that approval email. Again, I don't have to save anything at this point because as soon as I add those tags, they automatically save. If I added a wrong tag, I click something accidentally, or you simply do little X there. Okay, it removes the tag. Again, you don't have to save anything. So you don't have to worry if you add the wrong tag. You can easily remove and add a correct tag that makes sense to you. And just a little extra tip, you can manage your documents by changing how they are named. If, for example, they were submitted and they have an abbreviation or they are shorthand, how you can do that is via the related documents. And you can see all of my approved documentation that has been tagged. For example, I've got my investigator brochures at the top. I've got some participant consent forms and also some questionnaires. What I can do here is I can edit those titles and also the document type if that is incorrect. And how you do that is simply by using the edit icon that we can see is visible on those document rows, and we simply click on that and we get the option to change the title if necessary or edit the title if necessary, as well as to update the document type if it is incorrect. Updating the document type is really straightforward. We click on the drop down menu and we'd go ahead and choose the correct document type as appropriate for the document. To update the title or edit the title, we just click into the title and we can tidy it up here. Once you've edited or tidied up that title or document type, we can go ahead and hit save. And you can see here the very first document I edited was at the top of this document row here, and we can see we've got the tidy up here and there. I'm not going to leave it like that because that's a bit silly, so I'm going to go and fix that by using the edit icon again, tidying this up to remove that and hitting save again. And you'll see here it has then again updated as what we've edited it to. I've done all the tagging I need, so what I'm going to do to complete this process, I'm going to go ahead and create my final decision. So left-hand menu here, I'm not processing this in a meeting for this session, guys. We're going to see the same thing once we get that decision pending approval generation. So what we can see here, we're going to ignore this because it looks like someone's come into my study. We're just going to ignore that, guys. That's not there. We're going to add decision. We're going to select the type. Creating a decision is a two-step process. We have the type of decision we're creating, so we click on that. It's an application decision, so that's a final decision. That'll be approved, approved with conditions, or not approved. So I'm going to click on that, and I can see that it's been selected by the checkbox there. And then just at the bottom, I'm going to use the tick to apply that. I can add myself here as the user responsible for processing this decision because I'm just creating it at this point. So I click on that row. And I'm just going to start searching myself, and this is how my user account name looks in the system. It's my first name dot surname, and it'll be at my @health account here. So that's all I'm doing, finding myself again. We just want to select that, and then the tick at the bottom to apply. These are working notes. I'm not going to pop anything in there. I'm just going to hit save. So I'm creating the decision at this point, and we're just going to let that load. We always want to see black text. If we see color text, it's either saving or we have to save. You will see that prompt. So we've got our application decision that's been created. We would now want to provide the decision. So how I can do that is the three little people icon. I'm not going to add my documents at this point. I do that in the next step. So you might see we've got a document icon here. I'm not going to do it at this point. I want to do it in the next step so I can manage what's going into the approval email. Three little people, we're just going to click on the user decision. Just me here, so all I have to do is, you can see if you hover over it, we just click on it. Okay, and we're providing our final decision here. So again, approved, not approved, or approved with conditions. These are the three options you have, and we're going to go ahead and approve that. I'm not going to add any comments here. If you do add comments here though, guys, it will pull in to the approval email. But because I'm approving it, I'm going to let the template do all the work for me, and I'm just going to tidy that up in a minute. So all I'm doing is now providing the decision I've just created. I hit save. And what we're going to see is a status change in the top right-hand side of the screen here in the corner. And we're going to see our little tick in the circle just to the right of the screen. So we can see status change, and we've also got our little tick in the circle. What I quickly want to show you as well is your homepage tile. I do want to kind of utilize the tiles here just to show you that this is a really good tile to have if you are processing a lot and you're not completing and sending that email straight away. We do have a homepage tile that will show you anything that is approved or authorized pending a decision email. And it's just a really good flag just to show you, hey, that process isn't finalized yet, because what happens is we want to make sure we send that email to have our project created for the study. And it's just over to the screen here, just to the right. And approved or authorized, I've got a combination, guys, just for my training. You can have specifically ethics or specifically governance. And this will show you anything that requires an email to be sent to complete that approval or authorization. So it's a nice little tile to have. And mine will probably be most likely on the last page, which we can see here. That's the study I'm currently in. So I'm just going to go back, and I know at this point I want to go ahead and complete this process. I want to go and select those documents for approval. So again, I haven't selected it at this point. What I do is I select it in this decision pending generation option here. So all I simply do is click on that. And what we've got here, you can see on the screen, this is the process decision right before we send an email. If I were to go, yep, this looks good to me, and I hit that send email, I manually type in some documents in there. That's the completely wrong process because you're not letting the system do the work for you. What you're doing at that point is telling the system there are no approved documents associated to this application. Nothing is going to be visible for any related sites in the system. Your CPI is not going to see any approved documents. So what we want to do, guys, at this point is we want to make sure we add our application documents that are approved to be included in the approval email. Very, very important step. And this is where we're seeing a lot of issues where people are kind of skipping over this step perhaps, or missing it, and manually typing in a list of documents in the approval email. The system does not understand that you've added those documents and they're approved. This allows the system to read that your pick form A, B, and C will now be shared and be copied into the project for your applicant. So we're just going to click application document here. And why I went ahead and I tagged all those documents. So you can see here we've got a lot of documents. So I'm just looking for the ones with the nice tag. So this is why I added a tag. I have a lot of documents associated with this particular study. I don't want to have to go in and remember every single one. My study is probably a lot smaller than most studies that you might see, specifically clinical trials. There could be a ton of documents. This might be a really helpful way for you guys, if you're not managing it this way, to easily and visually see something that you're going to link to this particular application as the approved documents. So you might be wondering, why is that popping out? It's because this application looks like there's been a resubmission. So perhaps there's been a change to the document, and it's just showing me the most current document is the one that's getting approved. And that's correct. That's what I want to see. Okay, so the system never deletes a previous version. What it does is just hides it. Okay, that doesn't have a tag. That's got a tag. Fantastic. So I've got all my documents here and they all have tags and they're ticked. Just making sure, looks good. On to the next one. That looks good. I haven't missed any. Fantastic. So nice and visually easy to see there. I select with the little tick at the bottom and we can see it's pulled all of those documents. So I had 3 IBs, 3 pick forms, 3 questionnaires, and I've got my study protocol. What I'm doing is I'm just again selecting the documents for approval that I want then to be automatically shared with my related sites in the system, any related site in the system, but also my CPI in the external portal. Just another tip, if you are in this section here and you're quite fresh in the system, well, you need a refresher. Our help icon at the top of the screen here, the little question mark, if we click on that, we do have some really, really useful detailed text in here. And it's pretty much everything I'm kind of going through at the moment too. So this is a really useful little help text if you are a little bit unfamiliar with it. Maybe it's been a while since you've had to approve something or you're very new in the system. The help text here is really good. And you can see that it actually links to a quick reference guide if you needed just that little bit of extra information. So we've got that there. So we just close that. What you're seeing here is this list. It's going to be pulled into that approval email. And what you don't see here is I didn't select a cover letter or my correspondence document. That's because these documents aren't going to be used during the life of the study. They won't be amended. If I scroll back up to the top of the screen here, I've got all the documents I want in there. They look really good. I'm happy with this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the send email. So it's really important that you don't straight away hit send email without adding documents at this point. I am going to reiterate this a lot because it's really, really important. It's a big flow-on effect. All my documents are here. I'm going to go ahead and hit send email now. What this is going to do takes me into my email approval template, and we're going to work our way down the template, and you'll see the documents in a second too. So I can see it's going to the CPI, and looks like they've got perhaps an admin contact in the system there. Below that, we can see it's the ethics application has been approved. If your office likes to attach anything to your approval emails, you have that option here. You can click drag drop, or you can click on that and you can find your file and upload it. Basic details on the screen that we've got here, I want to go through. So we've got decision date, what the application is, we've got the review pathway. If it's been approved in a meeting, guys, we just enter the date here. So I've just done mine through the application. I'm just going to tidy that up. So what I'm doing here is I wouldn't send the email straight away without looking at it. I want to really be clear there. Just take a second to go through it because there are bits of information in here that are related to the study being a clinical trial or not a clinical trial. I can see I've got one site in the system there. So it looks like my CPI has one site associated with the study there. So this is all the documents I've added in that previous page. So again, we've got the 3 IBs, the 3 pick forms, 3 questionnaires, and I've got a study protocol. What's going to happen is once we do finalize this email and we send it, these documents are automatically going to become available for the researcher, so the CPI, they'll be able to see that in their approved documents. but also all the related sites will now be able to see these approved documents as well. So if you come in here and say, for example, additional document here, your additional document you're adding at this point is just text. You're not actually linking it or going to have it be made available to share. It's not going to be visible for anyone. So really, really important. If you've missed a document, just go back a step, add that document, come back into the email template. And just below that, we can see application documents as a link. It's available and active for 14 days. As soon as you send this email, your applicant will be able to access those documents straight away regardless, and that's via the external portal. This is just a little zip file they can download if they like. What we can see here, we've got some color text. So this is what I really want to pay attention to as well. I don't want to send this email like that. It's pretty messy. This is just an FYI. Does the study have, in this instance, a waiver of consent? If not, we just get rid of that. So we keep or remove, and you'll be able to see that in your classifications there. Just some more information regarding the CPI there. Below that, if it's a clinical trial, delete the next 2 points here. So again, you could tidy up, clean, keep. I might actually keep one just to make life easy. So I can see again, I've got some color text here. I'm going to keep this because this applies to my study. So we try to make it really obvious, guys, when you are looking at something in the email template, we can't customize them for every study. So we try and include enough information in there that will allow you to easily cut or keep. And that way it's just less work for you when you are completing this email. What we're going to do here, everything's been tidied up there. I'm pretty happy with that. I've got my little signature here, and I can see my image looks like it's probably too big. So I'm going to remove that, make it a little bit neater. So you can see it's pulling in the user who's completing this action. So whoever's completing this approval, it's going to pull your signature in. That's what this particular template looks like it's pulling. And once we're happy with that, what I'm going to do at this point is I'd go ahead and I'd hit send. What we get here is just asking us, have all the approvals been received? Has the appropriate application approval and expiry dates been received? This is pretty much an FYI. You're about to create an approval for this study. Once you do that, that's a final status there. You can't go back. So we're happy with this. Go ahead and hit yes. And what's going to happen is once we've hit yes and we're saying we're approving this study, we're going to now allow the system to get all those workflows kicked on in the back end of it. What's happening at this point is a project's going to be created. Once that project's created, those approved documents are going to live in the project. The approved documents are also going to be made visible to your CPI and to related sites. We're also going to be able to see that when I jump over, how it is visible. So a couple of things I can see straight away. I've got approved up in the top right hand corner. That's what I want to see. What else I want to see is the green monitor to the right of the screen there. That to me shows me that this study has successfully been approved and a project has been created. What I want to show you is I'm going to navigate to the project and I'm just going to show you those documents. Let's have a look at that. And all I'm going to do is go to related documents. And this is all I want to see. I want to see all of those documents I selected for approval and the approval notification. That's all I should be seeing at this point in my project related documents. This is just indicating I've selected these particular documents here, and my approval notification email that I've just sent, that lives in the project as well. So this is exactly what we want to see.